Fifth in the Premier League, qualified for the Champions League, and after a 70-year title drought in England, Newcastle have won the Carabao Cup, beating Liverpool 2-1 in the finale, whilst Alexander Isak scored the decisive goal. Talking about Isak, the rumours are increasing. Top journos like David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano are all over the links of Isak to Liverpool. Apparently, LFC are ready to break the British transfer record, paying over 120 million for Isak, who could turn Liverpool into an unstoppable force next season. However, Newcastle are already working on his successor. Ekitike, the tall dribbling striker from Eintracht Frankfurt, is linked to an €80 million move to Newcastle as we speak. Besides, Anthony Elanga has already been announced as a Newcastle player as they signed him for 61 million. Apparently, Newcastle want to keep a hold of Isak to play alongside Ekitike. Is that possible? Let's find out. So what happened in the last season for Newcastle United? Well, Alexander Isak managed to get 27 goals and 6 assists, as Jacob Murphy has gotten the second most goal contributions, something that a lot of people didn't expect, but he's a right wing, and that position is going to be occupied by the new signing, is Anthony Elanga. And if you didn't know, Alexander Isak is Swedish. Elanga is too. When it comes to players leaving, Callum Wilson is already running down his contract. The same goes for Ruddy and Jamal Lewis. Newcastle have decided to not extend with these players. And when it comes to incomings, Newcastle have actually signed a very talented player. Antonito Cordero is joining them in the upcoming season. A very talented 17-year-old Spanish player, who at the point where we're buying him is obviously 18, I believe. Comes in for just 4 million. He is a player that plays down the wings, left midfielder, 71 rated, 18 years old. Maybe the plan is that he can be the long-term successor to someone like Anthony Gordon, who knows? Whilst Cordero is coming into the team, Sean Longstaff is apparently about to sign with Leeds United for £12 million. And Kelly, who was loaned out to Juventus, is now being signed permanently. Those seem to be the outgoings that have happened already. I don't know if more players are going to go though. And I guess that means we can look into that right wing position, look at Murphy and realize Anthony Elanga is joining from Nottingham Forest. He is 23 years old, 92 pace, 83 dribbling, 5'10", with 3 very good play styles on him. That is a major signing, man. A really big one. I still remember when Elanga was a Manchester United player, and then he proved himself on a very, very good level at the side of Nottingham Forest. And this could be a front three. Anthony Gordon, Isak, Elanga playing Champions League football, having players like Guimaraes and Tonali in that midfield with Botman, Hall, Livramento, and obviously, yes, Shea and Pope. There could be some upgrades down the line. 33 years old. However, he's a goalkeeper, so it's not that deep. But obviously, when you look at this side, there is one thing that kind of stands out now. And that is, of course, the fact that the man above me is linked to Liverpool heavily. I personally, as a Liverpool fan, would absolutely love this. This would just mean dominance from us going into the next season. Upgrading a Darwin Núñez to an Alexander Isak is a huge upgrade. And I do think he could do wonders for us for many years to come. But Newcastle really doesn't want to sell, and that is the current situation. It seems like they actually want to get Ekitike in to pair up with Isak. So I guess, just to make Newcastle fans happy for the first season, I'm going to go for Ekitike, and then Liverpool can have Alexander Isak later. So as the Frenchman is now signing for Newcastle United, I'm very excited because I truly do believe he's an amazing talent, but the price tag is what worries me. He's joining us from Eintracht Frankfurt for just 46.9. That would be a good price tag. I mean, Liverpool was linked to him many a times, and they still are. Apparently, if they cannot get Isak, they're going to go ahead and get Ekitike. He comes in at an 82 rating. Apparently, the plan for Liverpool is kind of like, okay, if you don't give us Isak, we're going to buy your replacement for him, because it's tough these days to find a good striker. So Newcastle is in a bit of a weird spot there. But let's go into the squad here, and let me show you what I believe will be the way that Newcastle could set up down the line. And this is how it is. We take out Joelinton, put Ekitike up top alongside Alexander Isak. This could genuinely be the setup. Guimaraes and Tonali in the middle, and then have just 4 exceptional attackers in your starting 11. Now, in FIFA terms, this would be a ton of fun to use. I'm telling you, man, Ekitike and Isak in the same team, that would be amazing to see. But is that really going to be happening? I genuinely cannot see a world in which Newcastle spends 80 million on a striker whilst having Isak only as a backup. I mean, they would have to play both at the same time, but then you also have Gordon for the wings and Anthony Elanga, who you just spent 60 million on euros. Like, how do you fit them in? This is the only way. You go 4-2-4, have a bunch of fun, see how things go, tell your defenders to defend to the best of their abilities because they're not going to get too much support. These guys are just going to be attacking and having fun up there. But maybe that's the way to go. But can we talk about not just Ekitike, who, by the way, comes in at the age of 23, 86 pace, 81 shooting, 85 dribbling, his standout attributes, 6'2" tall, 4-star skill moves. And then he obviously has the finesse shot, chip shot, technical as well. Can we talk about what Frankfurt is doing? They started this whole thing with like selling Luka Jovic to Real Madrid for a huge amount of money. After that, it was Kolo Muani. Then it was Marmoush, who has been sold for tons of money to Manchester City. And now it could be Hugo Ekitike as well. Frankfurt is doing really good business in the past few years. Now, when I look at the squad of Newcastle United as we speak, I see weakness in the goalkeeping position, specifically down the line as well. I mean, just look at these guys, 36, 31, 33, and also 33. Then we move over into the centre-back position. Here is another issue. Botman is potential world-class. And then we have Cher, who has obviously had amazing moments at Newcastle. Asel, the captain and everything. Dan Burn, who is a hilarious guy, but also 33 at this stage. There needs to be something done about that centre-back position. Someone needs to come in to be built up for the future, and it has to happen now. By the way, I made sure to loan out the talented youngsters. Alex Murphy out on loan to Leganes. Cordero, who has just joined us, is going to Hoffenheim. Hopefully can come back as like an 80 rated player. And then Lewis Smiley, who's an exceptional talent potentially, is out on loan at Nice because he's not going to get past Bruno Guimaraes or Tonali as we speak in this new formation. You know what? I didn't go for the new signings yet because in my head I thought, okay, if Newcastle get like 120 million for Isak at one point and they actually sign Ekitike for 80 and also Elanga for 60, are they going to spend even more money? No, they need to go ahead and be successful first to then be able to spend again. Success, oh boy, it has come. Newcastle United have won the league title. 85 points, 74 goals scored, 36 conceded. I couldn't believe what I was seeing there, but that's not all. The FA Cup also belongs to Newcastle United. The Carabao Cup, we lost against Brighton. It's okay, it's not that bad. But because in the game, the 5th position doesn't get you Champions League, well, we had to go ahead and play through the Europa League. And we won the Europa League against Frankfurt in the finale. Hugo Ekitike, his former side, have lost against his new side. What the hell is this for a first season? Premier League, FA Cup, Europa League trophy on top. The Saudis are going to be very happy about this. And when I look at this team, well, you just gotta be happy looking at it right now. Here's the thing. Alexander Isak, now is the time to move. An 88 rated striker. We're going to sell him on. Ekitike is going to take over the position and become the lone striker in this team. Unless I kind of want to keep this formation. We'll see how that goes. But I think he needs to become the lone striker and we need to invest into our defense heavily. And statistically, Isak 53 and 15. 68 goal contributions as Elanga gets 38 and Ekitike in his first season gets 29. Gordon brings himself up to 23. And when it comes to the aging players, Dubravka down to a 73. Trippier, 77. Hope has actually gone up. Congrats, we'll take that. Dan Burn down -3. Fabian Schär down by -1. Gillespie We don't even care about him. Lascelles has gone up a little bit, but we need to get rid of all these players and we need to come up with a brighter future for Newcastle United, because the Saudis, that are like the richest investors in football, they want more out of this Newcastle United team, not just 1 or 2 trophies here and there. And so guess who came in wanting to sign Alexander Isak, my friends? Yes, you guessed it right. Eddie Howe lets him go to Liverpool. 140 million they are paying. I'm getting more than Newcastle might get in real life, so I'm very happy about that. But let's be real. If Newcastle don't go ahead and start winning trophies, as I have done right here, he probably is going to leave at some point. And Liverpool seems to be the destination that is the most likely as we speak. Even I, as a Liverpool fan, I sympathize with Newcastle. When they beat us in a Carabao Cup final, at first I was upset, but I was so happy to see these people be so happy about the Carabao Cup because they hadn't won a trophy in such a long time. So now the fact that Liverpool is possibly taking away their top striker, it's just gonna happen at some point. I don't think he's gonna stay at Newcastle for his entirety of his career unless Newcastle were able to spend money like Manchester City, Chelsea and stuff and bring in all these players that he needs to win all the trophies he wants. But here it is. He is gone. And with that being said, I'm going to switch the tactic across to a 4-2-3-1. We're going to go with the wide formation. Actually, we're going to run it a bit different. We're going to go with the 4-2-1-3. That way, we actually can bring in a center attacking midfielder as well. And then have Ekitike up top. You know what? No, I'm going to go with the 4-3-3 flat because we got to put some respect on Joy Linton's name. He comes into this team now with an 83 rating at the age of 29. We're going to keep that beautiful midfield together. And apart from Isak, also Nick Pope is leaving us. So is Fabian Schär, Target, and Hayden, as I'm selling older players. Apparently, Newcastle United were linked to Branthwaite throughout this summer transfer window. I believe he extended his contract, but that might just be a play to get more money out of him for Everton down the line. So for me, 44.4 million, we are bringing him into the team right now. And some people might say, oh, you have Botman, who's left-footed. Lads, don't worry. Branthwaite is absolutely incredible when it comes to being two-footed. And we can just put him straight in there. It's going to be fine. 5-star weak foot. I've seen him play at PSV Eindhoven at the time. Before he obviously joined Everton. And over there, when he was on the ball, I was like, is he left or right-footed? I don't know what this guy's doing. And then I found out he's actually left-footed. So 6'5", comes in with decent amounts of pace, defending physicality. And this would be a really nice big step for him from Everton to Newcastle United. Aiming for Champions League football. Why not? So this is a huge signing for us and it will make a big difference in his team. But look at that goalkeeping position. That's the next thing Newcastle need to tackle. When it comes to the goalkeeper position, there was only ever one option for Newcastle United. James Trafford is the one that the United fans want to bring in. Sorry that I actually said United fans. Newcastle United fans. Anyways, 31.8 million I paid for this man to walk through the doors of the club. He comes in at a rating of 81, which is pretty much perfect, considering he's still only 23 years old after joining us. 6'4" tall with long ball pass, far throw, cross claimer. This guy had periods where everyone was talking about him, that he had a few shaky performances, and now it is again a moment in which people want to get Trafford. And Trafford could be joining Newcastle United and become the new English goalkeeper after Pickford. He could be their #1 at some point. So I'm actually pretty pleased to bring him into the squad as we speak. But I also found out Newcastle is interested in another centre-back, which let's find out if it is happening. Talented Atalanta centre-back from Italy, Scalvini, is the one Newcastle United seem to be linked to quite heavily. And that is why I'm signing him. I don't just want 2 good centre-backs. I want to have at least 3 very good ones. And after the sale of Isak, we are capable of spending a lot of money, especially considering we have won the Premier League, FA Cup, and Europa League. So we have money to spend. We'll be fine. He comes in at an 81 rating. He's going to be battling it out against Branthwaite for that centre-back position for us. So I'm very happy to make this happen. This is some signing, and this is the type of squad depth you will need if you want to be successful against the top teams in the league. So 81 rated, 22 years old. Not the most amount of pace, but amazing defending. 6'4" with block, intercept, anticipate, bruiser, and also the aerial playstyle on top. I'm actually curious to see who wins the battle, Braithwaite or Scalvini, because Scalvini is more heavily linked these days. I'm kind of hoping he does. And now it was time to test ourselves against Liverpool because they got Isak. Ekitike over to Gordon. These lads wanted to prove themselves, and Ekitike scores. 9 minutes into the game, we are already up against Liverpool, which is an amazing feeling. But Alexander Isak was waiting for his moment, and he got it. It is 1-1 after 28 minutes as he scores against his former side and celebrates straight away. But then they were doing a bit of a madness. Alexander Isak gets an assist for Chiesa, who bangs it top bins as we go ahead and lose against Liverpool. And guess what? No Isak, no party. The party has gone over to Liverpool, who have won the title, 2 points ahead of us. An extremely tight title race that was. From the first position down to the 5th, it's just 4 points. And that just shows how close the margins can be in the Premier League. Now, let's go over into the FA Cup. Liverpool wins that. Carabao Cup. Aston Villa wins that. We qualified for Champions League football. Where did we end up? Well, seems like we dropped out against Inter in the round of 16. So Isak's gone, and all of a sudden, our team is falling apart. And look, I don't want to just put it down to that, because Ekitike now has an 88 rating. Elanga as well. Wow. We have Gordon on an 87. In midfield, Joelinton has gone up to an 84. Guimaraes has gone up to a 90. Tonali, 88. Defensively, Braithwaite and Scalvini still giving themselves a battle for the position, which I love to see, as Botman is currently just enjoying the fact that he's the highest rated one. Both of our fullbacks look incredible, by the way. In my opinion, these guys are so talented. Newcastle, you have a bright future ahead, and Trafford is on that 83, which I'm pretty happy with for now. But on the bench, we will need more additions, and down the line, we will have to replace players like Joelinton as well. But for that, I have a solution within the team, because Lewis Miley is on an 81 rating, up by 4 this season in his 2nd year of being loaned out, and that means he is going to be the one taking over Joelinton's spot at some point if he keeps going like this. And then Cordero is up to a 76. He's going to be a very good substitution for us to use as a backup winger. At the end of the season, Lavsell and Vlachodimos are leaving us, contract running out. Going into this next season, we have some issues to address. First of all, we don't have a single backup for Lewis Hall, and for the right back position, well, Ashby is the only one, and let's be real, we need someone better for both sides. For the left back position, we're going in for a Benfica player. Benfica has some good talents, right? So I'm bringing in Samuel Dahl. He comes in for 20 million into our team, a Swedish left back. We like to sign Swedish players over here at Newcastle, so let's bring that man in and let me show you his stats. He comes in now at the age of 24, 79 rated, 87 pace, 79 dribbling, 5'7". That is an under the radar signing that I personally find perfect for this Newcastle squad. We have been bringing in a bunch of foreign players, so it's time to bring in some homegrown ones. This is Achampong from Chelsea, who we're signing for 20 million, and I can tell you right now, possibly the best right back I've used on this game. Like, when you get this guy to a high rating, he is incredible. So, welcome into the team. Achampong comes in at a 76 rating at this stage, 82 pace on him with good passing, dribbling, defending, and physicality. 6'1" tall. This is what Newcastle needed. We needed to bring in players here. We have Barnes and Cordero for the wings. We have Miley and Willock for the midfield. We have Scalvini for the centre-back position. And then we obviously have both of these new fullbacks coming in. I do still believe in Osula. I'm going to keep building him up as a backup striker. And I probably at some stage need to bring in another backup goalkeeper. Halfway through the season, somehow West Ham are in 1st place and we are in 5th. This has to change. I'm going after West Ham. And they have to be careful because Ekitike, 3 goals in his last 3 games, wants to take on this team and rip it apart. Elanga's pass to Ekitike is perfect as he gets past the defender and puts one into the back of the net. But he wasn't done yet. We had to continue. Ekitike again on the ball. This time looking for Elanga, who makes a great run. The Swede is scoring his goal. 2-0 early on into this game. And West Ham, I'm sorry, I gotta hit you with the gritty. And I'm hitting you with a loss on top of it. I know this is completely irrelevant to this video, but I just want to share something that's been making my life so much more enjoyable recently. I bought this thing. It looks like the good old Game Boy from back in the day. I hope the camera is focusing on it. If it isn't, well, that's a shame. But listen, are you listening? This is just pure childhood for me. For the first time in so many years, I'm able to play freaking Pokemon and, most importantly, Golden Sun. If you guys never played it, if you have a Switch, apparently you can get Golden Sun on it now. Go get it, man. It's one of the best games ever. End of the season, Newcastle United in third. What happened to the team that won everything in the first season with a much weaker team? I mean, honestly, this makes no sense. My squad is ridiculous. Ekitike is on a 90. Elanga is on a 91. Gordon, 89 rated. We have Joelinton even going up to an 86, for God's sake. And defensively, we're looking ridiculously good with an even higher rated goalkeeper. Does Isak really make that much of a difference? Well, at least I can say he didn't make a difference in the FA Cup final, because we have beaten Liverpool 3-2. Ekitike wins the battle this time. And the Carabao Cup, that belongs to us as well. So we have a double this season, which I'm very, very pleased with. Now, in the Champions League, we didn't even play in it. Even though I finished 4th, I didn't play Champions League football, which was hella weird. We actually got kicked out of the semi-finals in the Europa League against Chelsea, who then went ahead and won the whole thing. Chelsea, by the way, on fire lately, winning the Club World Cup, getting even more money to spend. Gonna get dangerous out here. Patience has paid off. Newcastle United, 91 points, Premier League champions. Again, FA Cup goes to Aston Villa. Carabao Cup goes to Chelsea up against us. And well, in the Champions League, we lost against Real Madrid. What we do have is an unbelievable team at this stage. Honestly, lads, I cannot wait to use it. And even on the bench, Miley, 86. So I'm very happy to see how things are building up. Scalvini on an 88 as we speak. Let's check the numbers. Ekitike 46 and 11. That is why we are back up there. And then we have Gordon 27 and 16, Elanga 25 and 5. This squad is ready for the biggest trophy of them all. Apparently, Newcastle fans out there want Gallagher to join them. A lot of people I've seen talk about this, so why not just bring him in? I am going for the Champions League trophy. Gallagher now coming in for about 80 million, which is a lot of money. Comes in at the rating of 86, and I'm totally okay with that because I wanted to bring in yet another piece to the puzzle here. And now we do have 3 center midfielders who can come in at any point and perform for us. Gallagher, a class player that I personally really do like. Crystal Palace have been bringing out some top players lately, haven't they? Olise, Eze, Gallagher. It's been a lot of fun to watch, so let's see how this works out for us. And now something absolutely insane has happened. I've reached 102 points. Newcastle United have joined the Centurions. This is incredible. I cannot remember the last time I had over 100 points in Premier League football. 3 draws, 2 losses, 33 victories, giving Manchester City no chance with 88 points, which would have been enough to win the title in multiple other seasons. But let's go over to the squad and let me show you what's going on over here, my friends. 92, 94, 94 up front. 91, 92, and now Lewis Miley has taken his position. At the age of 24, he's part of the starting 11. Hall, Botman, Branthwaite, Livramento, all looking incredible, with Trafford on a 91 as well. And guess what? Scalvini is on an 89 too, just like Branthwaite. So yeah, we'll see. Whoever has played the most games out of the 2, I'll play in a Champions League final. But I have basically given away that I'm part of the Champions League final, haven't I? Anyways, let me just show you right here. We're up against Manchester City after beating the likes of Juventus on penalties. In the quarters, it was Atletico Madrid. Before that, it was Borussia Dortmund 5-4 victory. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Those 2 trophies are on the line. FA Cup and Carabao Cup belong to someone else. Actually, I'm wrong. Sorry. FA Cup doesn't belong to us, but the Carabao Cup does, with a victory over Chelsea. And what fits to an insane season with over 100 points? A goal scorer with 56 and 14. This man has 70 goal contributions from the right wing. Elanga, are you going to be incredible for Newcastle? Is that just a sign of things to come? Gordon, 50 goal contributions. Ekitike comes in with 33, but it is nothing compared to the other 2 right now. Gallagher has played, 55 games. Interesting. Who was the centre-back that actually played? Botman, and then after him, Branthwaite. So we're going to go ahead and start him. We can sub on the best backups later on. That trophy is the one I want, so let's dive straight into the game, my friends, and try and beat this City side. Now, even more news have come out ever since I started recording this. First of all, FC26 reveal trailer is out. Let me know your thoughts on it. Yesterday, I uploaded my first initial reaction to it. I feel like, as always, there's a lot of sarcasm in there from people who are like, yeah, same thing, different name, and all that stuff. But I genuinely believe if EA can go out there and implement those challenges in a good way, it will give a lot of career mode players something to do. Because so many times when you go into a new, like when you open up FIFA and then you look at career mode and you're like, okay, if I start a new career mode now, what am I going to do? Like, I already played 3 saves. What's there to do? And if they keep updating that stuff consistently, I really think it could be a very good thing for a lot of career mode players who at times find themselves not able to fix headers in FC26, please. Not knowing what to do. This would be a great addition. And then on top of it, of course, the manager market, if it's done right, if the managers actually have an impact on the formation you play, on the type of players you have, all that stuff, I think it would be huge. If it's only a visual thing, it's very disappointing. Nice Hall. Absolutely incredible work from Hall so far. He has been possibly my best player, which says a lot. Lewis Miley, down the wing. Miley, lovely football. Bruno G. There is Tonali. Tonali smacks it, saved. Newcastle moving down the left wing. Ugo Ekitike picks up the ball. Great first touch. Cuts back in. Inside. Tonali. Yes! That's what we like to see. Ekitike gets himself an assist in the Champions League final. Elanga and the boys are celebrating. We're looking at the players sitting on top of the bench for some reason. Tonali. Lovely ball. Elanga was trying to get himself one there. All right, 75 minutes into the game. Cordero gets a chance. Gallagher gets subbed on for Tonali, who already scored. And Joelinton now coming on for Miley there. And Scalvini for Branthwaite, who is yellow carded already. Beautiful football by City. Uh-oh. Haaland could score here. He doesn't. Trafford. Massive. Adeyemi can't stop him. Trafford again. Ooh, thank you very much. Antonio Cordero aiming for Ekitike. Can't find him. Ekitike will find the back of the net, I thought. It's okay. 90+2 it goes until we pick up the trophy. This has been a lot of fun. Good to see that Trafford was a key player in the end. Newcastle are winning the Champions League thanks to a beautiful run of Ekitike and a goal of Tonali. And to finish things off, even though he didn't get a goal or assist in the final, it is Anthony Elanga, the new signing, picking up the Ballon d'Or for us. This Newcastle team could be very interesting moving forward if they make the right decisions and they finally get to spend money like City, Chelsea, all these other teams, because they do have the richest owners. So, lads, be prepared. Newcastle is not going anywhere but up, in my opinion. Have a good one. Take care and peace.